Welcome to the Art of Simple Hypnosis with Rob de Groof. Rob's goal is to keep hypnosis simple and uncomplicated, fast, powerful, and effective techniques. In this show, Rob talks with leaders of the hypnosis industry on how to keep hypnosis simple and effective on the therapeutic side as well as on the business side. Enjoy, learn, and by all means, keep it simple.
Welcome, Sheila, to the Art of Simple Hypnosis show. And of course, today we're going to talk about giving advice to our viewers about keeping hypnosis simple. But first, let's talk about making mistakes. Sometimes we make mistakes, and I know I made a lot and I learned a lot about it. So, so in your case, what is the biggest mistake that you made that you don't want others to make?
Yeah, like you say, Rob, we've all made lots of mistakes, but it's where we draw our biggest learnings, isn't it, really? When we make the mistake, we think, especially the big mistakes, we think, oh, I won't do that again. I've learned from that. And I think one of the things, somebody once said to me, when I was first starting out, they said to me, there can only be one hypnotist in the room. And it is so true. And when I look back at the sessions that perhaps haven't gone as well, or I've not really got the result that I thought we were going to get, when I look at it, it's a lot of the time because I've allowed the clients to become the hypnotist in the room. You know, who is giving the commands and the suggestions here? Who is influencing whose behaviour? And, you know, sometimes you get those clients that they come for one thing, but they send you in multiple directions and they kind of throw these red herrings into the equation. And when we make the mistake of going with the red herring that they've thrown in, all of a sudden, that person has become the hypnotist in the room.
Yeah, he's taking over the session. So yeah, that's one of the things that I'm always telling my students, especially in the 7-day training, the beginning students, that they need to be in charge. And I see that's especially for women, sometimes it's a bit of a, they want to be friendly and they want to let them tell their story. And that's something that I'm known of, that I never let them do, because even on my intake form, it says, describe your problem in only 2 words, and I don't want more than 2 words. So the moment they start telling a story, I say, no. I always, in my mind, I have that sentence from that very famous video, stop it. We don't go there. That's always in my mind. And that's also why I show that video to my students. So yeah, that's something that I can imagine that it's especially something that you have to learn by experience, not to letting the client take over the session. So I think that's very good advice, very good thing to start with. So in your career, what is the best decision you ever made regarding your hypnotherapy business?
I think when I look back, the biggest moments have been when I've been brave, enough to just do it. Without, you know, overthinking it, without, you know, without the what if this happens, or what if this goes wrong, or what if it doesn't work, you know. So, you know, when I look back at one of my really early clients, I'd only been qualified for about a week, and I didn't feel like I was qualified. You know, when you do your training, you think, well, you've got this certificate that says that you can do this, but can I really do it? So I don't really have any idea what I'm doing at all. But I responded to a newspaper article about a lady that had been hiccuping for 5.5 years continuously. And I rang the newspaper up and I said, oh, I'm a hypnotist, I might be able to help that lady. Because I had a certificate that said that I was, so I must be. And they rang me back the next day and said, we'd like to bring that lady to see you, and we'd like to film it for our website. So it's like, oh.
Whoa, no pressure there.
no pressure at all. And that night, I scoured the hypnosis books to where was going to tell me how on earth I should work with hiccups, because I had no idea whatsoever. And there was no book that told me either.
Oh.
So the next day they brought this lady, but, you know, to use your term, Rob, you know, I thought, all I can do is keep it simple.
Mm.
I can't do anything because I don't know how to do anything else. I hadn't got enough experience to do anything else anyway. So I had just got to keep it simple and just go with it. Anyway, this lady stopped hiccuping during the session. How? I have no idea. You know, you know, whether you know, I just kept the suggestion simple. I jumped into her mind map of the world for a while. She was a cleaner. She, you know, mopped floors at a bingo hall.
Mm.
And so I got to imagine cleaning it all up. You know, what, she just cleans it all up.
Yep.
What if
Yeah.
she just does that? And she stopped. And I thought, have you really stopped hiccuping? Have you really stopped? You know, but the point of it is, the following day, the newspaper wrote a full page article to how I'd, you know, magically stopped this lady hiccuping.
Mm. And
all of a sudden, the phone starts ringing.
Yeah.
So just being brave enough to give it a go.
Yeah. That's
you know, and
unpayable advertisement, of course. Yeah. When you have to pay an article like that, it will be in some thousands of, or that marketing like that, and it will be some thousands of pounds or euros or dollars. And then even then, it's still an advertisement. Now it was an article from a journalist that saw what was going on. So of course that's the best advertisement that you can have.
Yeah, and it's sort of, and if I look at every milestone, you know, when things have really increased in my hypnosis practice, it's always been at the points where I've just been brave enough to give it a go and see what happens. So even down to, you know, for example, Virtual Gastric Band, and, you know, well, could I get this clinically trialed? You know, so I didn't let the, well, what if it doesn't work? You know, what if it fails, get in the way. I just thought, well, what the heck, let's just go and do that then.
Yep.
And you know, it's seen incremental steps in the business every single time. I thought, well, I'll just give it a go. Because, you know, what is the worst that's going to happen here? What is the worst that's going to happen?
Yeah, the worst is that you're just spending your time in something that's not going to be successful. But that's not that bad, because that's how things are built. That's how inventions are made. Just people being brave and doing something new and then see what the result is. And sometimes it's a big success, and sometimes it's a minor success, and sometimes it's nothing. It's just not working. But yeah, when you don't try, you don't. Especially now these days, we have to try different things to keep our business going, and we have to jump in the deep, because now we don't know what's going on, and we don't know what the future will bring. So we have to be brave and find new things to do.
Yeah, and the thing is, we've all got, you know, opportunities all the time. It's just whether we take any action on those or not. And, you know, so recently I'd been in the hospital, and I was talking to the consultant neurologist, and as it turns out from that conversation, he wants me to put together a proposal for taking hypnosis into neurology. And potentially then co-authoring a book with this consultant neurologist about hypnosis and neurology, which would be immense. Now, but I'm going into that, you know, okay, fantastic if it works out. But also, so it could be another changing moment, if you like, if that takes off. But also, it's not the end of the world if it doesn't, because I've given it a go.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, and when you don't take that chance, you never know, and that there is no chance that it's going to be a success. So and even not when it doesn't help your business, it's always it will build your credibility, because when you're asked by somebody from the medical world to go author a book, that's also good for your credibility. It's also good for your for your promotion, for everything. So why not give it a try? So that's of course.
So I think that, you know, the main thing is about being brave, just being brave enough to do it.
Yeah, Okay, great. So, what advice can you give our viewers to simplify hypnosis, to keep hypnosis simple? You told the story about the lady with the hiccups. Keep it simple. That's really important. But is there something else that you can tell our viewers about keeping hypnosis simple?
Yeah, I mean, people, we always sometimes we're up against this having to educate all the time, aren't we, about, what hypnosis is, does it work? Can I be hypnotized? All that constant education that we seem to have to do as a profession. But in a way, I take the word hypnosis away from it, because if you take the word hypnosis away and just think of it in terms of how people think, then that means that we have even more opportunities, because there are so many different avenues we can take hypnosis into. So yeah, there's the keep it simple in terms of, I always keep it really simple on any first session, because often the simple stuff is the stuff that works. So I will always go simple with just direct suggestion. Before I start to overcomplicate the issue. And it's also, I think, thinking about all the time, what has that client actually come to you for? What is the results that they're looking for? Are they looking to, for example, lose weight? Because we need to find a way to create a really quick win straight away. Which is why, for example, gastric band is good, because in the first week, they'll notice the difference. The first week, they'll lose weight. The belief system kicks in, and then you can look at doing your more complicated techniques to bring about long-term change or whatever the client needs. But if we keep it really simple to begin with and give somebody a really quick win and just look at, okay, how do I change how somebody thinks?
No. Yeah, so then they see results, and then their confidence in whatever is going on is growing, because that's something that I encounter sometimes with clients. They especially clients who are not referred by somebody because they are new to hypnosis. They never heard of it, so they were just maybe reading something about hypnosis, then looking it up on Google, came on my website or somebody else's website, and then they decided to give it a go. But they still have doubts, because I know how I was in the beginning. I sent messages to my teachers. Is this really working? Because it's so simple. Sometimes it's so simple, and is this really working? Because I'm not sure about that. And then yeah, you get the results with your clients. But it's really important that they have a quick win, so that they know that there is something going on, that there's something happening, and then of course their mind can be at ease, and they know, okay, this is really going to help me, and then the results will be better. And especially like you're saying, Virtual Gastric Band, one of the great advantages of that is that they have they experience something. Most of them experience weight loss in the first week, but everybody has experienced some change in their eating habits, in their the things that they're doing. One of the things that I experienced a lot with Virtual Gastric Band, I added some more direct suggestions to it for the water drinking. So, and most of my returning clients, they come the week later, and most of them, they say, even in the car, I was feeling thirsty. And then that's a really good convincer, because now they're driving home and they say, whoa, there's already changing something, because I'm really thirsty. And some of them, they just stopped alongside the road to go to a shop and buy some water. So yeah, what more convincer do you need? So
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's really,
And
really...
even when we're, doing our first session with a client as well, I don't tend to use a lot of convincers during the session, because, everybody will experience hypnosis differently. And, I tend to say to a client, all I need you to feel today is that you are sitting there with your eyes shut in order to make this work.
Yeah.
That's all I need you to feel. And every one of our clients will be doing that.
Yeah, of course.
So that way it sort of stops people doing the, have I been hypnotized? Have I not been hypnotized? Because, sometimes them just questioning that, have I been hypnotized can start to undo the rest of the
Yeah,
suggestion
yeah, of course.
that you're making to somebody. So if I can remove that element, and I think the other thing is, like, I drop positive suggestion right until somebody leaves my door. Because, you know, they're still taking, you're wearing this massive label, aren't you, that this is what you do. So, you know, we need to be aware of, that we only drop positive messages all of the time. And so, with every client that's sitting in my chair, before I do the hypnosis, I always say, it's really important that after we've done this session, that I don't talk to you about it. We're just going to leave it as it is, but then as soon as I've woken them back up again, I'll create a little bit of amnesia, but then I'll say, I do have to just say before you leave, and I don't normally say this to anybody, but you were absolutely fantastic. All I do is watch you all the time. I could see that everything was going in. You will have absolutely no problem at all with this. And I don't normally say that to anybody on a first session, but you will be brilliant. Anyway, I'll see you next week. I say it to every single client who sits in my chair.
Of course. But yeah, then you did the introduction and you changed the topic to something else about them being a very good client, and you end with see you next week. So you don't give them the time to start talking about their weight or it might not happen, or was I hypnotized or whatever. So that's that's a really good approach.
So, and as human beings, we want to be good at things, don't we? We don't want to be rubbish at them.
No.
We want to be good, but, if, say I'm dropping those positive suggestions that they will have absolutely no, even if the hypnosis session has just been the worst session I've ever delivered, and the person has shown absolutely no sign that we're in hypnosis whatsoever, I'm still going to say they were brilliant.
Yep. Yeah, of course. There is this one of the things that I'm always telling my students as well. And there is one hypnotist in Belgium. He's really doing it. He puts on his website that the moment you enter his office, he's going to run some tests with you, and then he's going to decide if you're hypnotizable or not. It's the worst thing that you can do, because people he does, of course, the balloon and book things and magnetic hands and whatever. And if the results are not good, he just sent them home. And that's terrible, because we even had clients coming from his office to they contacted our office. They said, yeah, he can't help me because of the test things. And then they come to our office, and they are magnificent clients. They're really good. Everything is going on, but they just had a bad day, and maybe they are not good visualizers, and they are not good in those suggestibility tests. And that's something because a lot of those people who are sent away, they will never give hypnosis a second chance. They just decide, okay, I'm not good for hypnosis, and they just keep running with their problems. So even and especially when you're seeing clients multiple times in a row, like in a program, then there might be a session that they are maybe not that concentrated, or they just had been in a traffic jam, and then their attention is not on you, and you just and then when you were going to say, oh, this was not a good session, this was a bad session, then of course you're gone. Then and that's really important, to give them the feeling that everything is good, that they're very good at hypnosis, that they're very good subjects. So yeah, that's they have to have a good feeling after the session. It's really important, of course.
Yeah. And it's almost every time that we step into our room to work with somebody, we've got to put our own cloak and our own label on that says, yeah, this is what I do, because we've got to have it's my intention that this is going to happen. And if I set the intention that this is what's going to happen, it will happen. So
of course.
Intention and belief on our part is hugely important as well.
Yeah, I think intention is much more important than language or whatever is going on. When I'm hypnotizing a lot in English. English is not my native language, but when my intention is there, even I can make mistakes in my language. I can sometimes skip a sentence because I don't know how to say it in English. So sometimes, or also, of course, in Dutch, my language is stronger. There's more power in my words. But when the intention is there, the result will be there anyway. So I think that's really important. Yeah, our intention, when you go into the room with doubts, then you have a problem. I'm working with different therapists in different cities. I have to replace one of my therapists now because he's too much in doubt. He called me like a few months ago. He says, yeah, I don't want those complicated sessions anymore. I only want to do like weight loss and stop smoking. And now he called me that he's gonna stop forever because he's in doubt. And he said, yeah, and this afternoon I had a session with somebody, and I was not sure that she was really good hypnotized, so it's not going to work. I say, when that's your mindset, you really have to stop now, because that's not what is good for you, and that's not what is good for our clients, of course. So and he had very good results. He was doing a very good job, but sometimes, of course, you have some people who are not happy or don't have the results, or they just don't do what you expect from them to do. And he was taking that in. He was taking all those negatives in. And then when it starts building his mindset that he's not good in those complicated sessions, or sometimes it doesn't work and people pay a lot of money for it, and then he starts doubting himself, and his mindset, his intentions are going low, and then you're gone. Of course, you're lost. So yeah, that's really important.
And when that intention and belief is there, you know, we actually can create miracles. In that somebody can be asleep, literally asleep, for your whole session, and they'll still get the result.
Yep.
Because, you know, I had a lady, and, you know, we do naturally, I think, worry about our clients. We can't want the change more than they do, but we do want the change for them just as much as they do. I had one lady, and because I used to have people who travelled quite a distance for sessions, they maybe drove 3 hours each way or something. And this particular lady was a 3-hour driver each way. And on the first session, she came, and I'm not kidding you, within 2 minutes, she was asleep in my chair, asleep. And, you know, some people snore because they're relaxed. Well, you know, she was snoring so loudly, I couldn't hear myself talk anymore.
Whoa. Yep.
Anyway, I had a client immediately after her, so I didn't have time to, like, you know, wakey, let's start all this again, make it a bit more active. I didn't have time for all of that. And I worried about her all week. And the following week she came back, and I said, you know, how have you been? She said, oh, you know, absolutely fantastic. She said, I've lost 10 pounds this week. But, you know, it was just down to my intention, her belief system.
Yeah, and especially in the first stage of sleep, the subconscious mind is still listening, so she will get and of course the intention is doing a lot. It's yeah. You can do a very good session with somebody, and when the intention is not there from both sides, it's not going to work. I'm working with a client now for the breast enlargement, and she's a really she's a doubter. So she wanted to have, she was actually booked to do a surgery, but due to the corona crisis, all surgeries were postponed, so she couldn't do the surgery. And then somebody referred her to me. She said, maybe you can do it on a natural way first. And she was really in doubt, but she is, and I had a session with her yesterday to restart it, because everything was going. She had growth the first week. Everything was going good. She even had a feeling in the breast that they were growing. Like she said it was the same like when I was pregnant. You had that pulsing feeling. I never been pregnant, so I don't know. So that feeling that the breasts were growing. So she's a very good hypnotic subject as well. But every single week she was sending me a message. Yeah, maybe there's. I'm not sure that my measurements were correct the first time, and then she's always finding something that maybe it's not going to work. So yeah, that's and she's a very good subject, but in her mind, she doesn't believe that this is going to work, and even that she see that the measurements are there. So yesterday I did a session with her, and she's also very good with IMR. So I had a very good yes, a very good no, and the subconscious mind just said that, yeah, I stopped doing the process because in her mind it's always negative and always wrong. So now I gave the subconscious mind direct suggestions to give her a positive attitude towards a change. So I hope this is going to do the trick. But the mindset from both sides it's really important. So yeah, that's why when I was doing entertainment, I never was a day sick, because I always was on the stage, because the show must go on. But when I'm not feeling well, I cancel my sessions because I know that when I'm not fit for 100%, I can't put the right intention in a session. I can't put the right power in a session, and that's not good for a client. And then hypnosis session, you can reschedule. A show you can't reschedule, of course. So that's, yeah, that's really important. So yeah, let's go to the topic that you wanted to talk about to our viewers, and of course it's about weight loss. So
yeah, I mean, I think you know, with weight loss, you know, the key is really, you know, whatever system we use to, you know, help clients with that. You know, I'm a big believer that we've got to put the right foundations back in place to begin with, and not attempt to put somebody on a diet, because our clients are more of a specialist in weight loss than we are at any point, because they've done them all. But really what we need to look to do, I suppose, is, you know, which weight loss trances do we need to break? Because, you know, people say to me, oh, do you hypnotize people into a trance to get them to lose weight? Well, no, I probably hypnotize them out of it, you know, because if we think about our eating habits, you know, it's the classic example of when we go into a trance. You know, if you know, we're sitting in front of the television and you know, a bag of chocolate buttons or something, and the whole bag's gone because we're eating them in a trance. Or sometimes, you know, we are creatures of automation and habit. So it could be that, you know, you get a client who says, yeah, I'm all right all day, just when it gets to 4 o'clock, and I sit down at 4 o'clock, and then that's when my eating habits go all to pot. Or 7 o'clock, I sit down with a glass of wine. You know, it's at what point does the automation kick in?
yeah, that's yeah, something that it's really important, because as you say, clients are in a kind of trance. They're doing stuff that they're not most of the time they're not conscious of, that they're doing those things. And yeah, it's really important to get them out of that that trance, of course. So do you use special techniques to get them out of that trance, or do you say I'm just pointing them to new habits, or do you want to get them on a conscious level?
Yeah, I mean, I do it on 2 levels really. So conscious and unconscious, if that's the way I want to describe it. But yeah, in order to bring about a change, we have to be conscious that we're doing something in the first place. You know, so you know, if a client identifies, okay, well, it's, you know, 4 o'clock's my time, or, you know, or what type of eater am I? You know, am I a trance eater? You know, is it those things that are actually the problem that I need to sort out? Am I an emotional eater? You know, is it that I need to sort out? Am I a supersize me person, in that it's big portions? You know, I get somebody to almost identify, without putting a label on it, you know, what are they? You know, what type of eater am I? Because as soon as we can become consciously aware about it, then we can start to consciously do something about it as well. And then the hypnosis techniques are going to start backing up that conscious decision as well, to change how somebody thinks about things. Might be to put a new routine into place, might be to you know, sort of get somebody to be satisfied on smaller amounts. You know, what actually is the issue we need to work on? Because, you know, with weight loss, you know, with I describe it, it's a bit like having a bramble bush in front of you. You know, when we were born, we were all right, but somehow over a period of time, you know, we've formed multiple associations, and, you know, it's all like entwined, isn't it? You know, so how do we even start clipping away as a hypnotist at that massive intertwined bush of associations? You know, if you were to think of the bramble bush in your garden, you know, okay, how am I going to get rid of this? Okay, so am I going to just clip a little bit away at the sides at the weekend? Well, that's no good, because it's all grown back again by the following weekend.
Yeah.
You know, am I going to try and smash through it all in one day? Well, I'm probably not going to be able to manage to do that either. So, you know, how do we break through that in an easy way? And, you know, if we can do that by, you know, looking at what do we actually need to change to bring about a change. Because I've sort of found if you take somebody down, okay, well, you need to eat healthy, because we all know what to do with weight loss, don't we? Okay, so I need to eat less and exercise more. You know, how simple can it be? But somehow we can't manage to do that. But which elements of that do we actually need to address as a hypnotist?
No.
That bring about quick wins, that bring about a change that somebody can actually live with in the long term. Because if we do things that people can't live with, you know, if we say, okay, you're going to go on the fast 800 diet, or you're going to have green days and red days, you know, we're just putting them on a path that everybody else has attempted to do with them, or they've even attempted to do with themselves.
Yeah, it needs to be something that they want to do, that they want to change. Because when they don't want it, it's the same with smokers, but for weight loss is the same. When they say, yeah, I don't want to change my eating habits, then there is no thing to start. Then we have to do, then they have to move or exercise more. But when they don't want to do that, when they just think, okay, the hypnotist has a magic wand and he will wave his wand and everything is gone, the problem is gone, then of course they have to put some effort in it as well. And I think it's really important, to identify what the problem is and to see what they want to do about it. And then of course we can start doing our job.
Yeah, because there's sometimes as well, like another sort of eating type of person that I've identified is, and there are a lot of them that come for hypnosis, if I'm honest, is what I might call the comfort zoners. So these are people of a certain age group who, you know, they've got a good lifestyle, you know, because they can afford our sessions. So, you know, they've got a good lifestyle. You know, they might, you know, have nice meals. That might be one thing they do on an evening. You know, a nice glass of wine. You know, life's really not too bad. You know, they've not got any major, you know, hang-ups or anything. So with those people, it's, you know, they tend to be fairly low on the motivation scale. So, you know, because it's not the end of the world if they don't lose weight, because, you know, life's quite comfortable, really. All right, yeah, I might like to do that, but how much do you actually want to do it?
Yeah.
So with those type of clients, you know, we've probably got to build in more around, okay, how do we keep this person's motivation high? And again, probably if we can give them some quick wins, that the motivation starts to kick in, because, you know, with motivation, that's got to come from within, hasn't it? You know, it's a bit like with exercise. You know, none of us are really motivated to go and exercise, you know, because I can think of lots of other things that I could do instead. Or, you know, it's raining today, so I don't want to go in the rain.
Excuses are always there.
I'll go tomorrow. You know, so, you know, but the motivation for exercise comes by how it makes you feel after you've done it. And that endorphin kicks in to make us to want to do it again. So, you know, it's about how do we keep this client's motivation high if it's fairly low. But if we identify, okay, who is this person? You know, are they a comfort zoner? Are they a big portions? You know, is it types of food? You know, what type? And they identify that themselves as well. If you talk about those things with them, they will start to identify those elements of themselves.
Yeah, I think also what you're saying about motivation is really important, because whenever I see a client and I ask the question, can you give me some negatives about your current state or whatever the issue is, weight loss, stop smoking, or whatever, but when they can't give me enough information or enough negatives, and then I ask, what are the positives? What will you win when you're at maybe 60 kilograms, or when you're a non-smoker, and there's not a lot coming from them, then the red lights are going off. Then I'm doubting about their motivation, and that's something that's really necessary, because it's like you said, when you're not motivated, you will find the excuses to not do what you need to do even quicker. And when you see what good this is going to do for you, when you experience it, like with the exercise, or when you have a quick win, then you build up that motivation, and then you will grow more and more towards your goal, whatever it is. So yeah, really important.
I was recently being asked to take part in a clinical trial at the hospital, and it was actually with people who had amputations. Well, were about to have amputations. So it was something about peripheral arterial disease. And with peripheral arterial disease, it comes on gradually. So people get, if they go for a walk, they get something called intermittent claudication. It causes pain in the legs. And so what they want to do is stop walking. Well, actually what that does then is makes them more chance of them losing a limb because of it. And so, it was whether anything could be done to motivate them to sort of work through that so that they didn't end up losing a limb. But, their, motivation was the key thing, really, wasn't it? It was like, how do I motivate somebody to actually want to do something about this? But that motivation to change often comes just after somebody's had a heart attack. What is the key point that we get somebody on motivation? Because, it was found that after somebody's had an amputation, sort of almost 3 months later, they kind of got used to that. So the motivation had gone again.
Yeah.
So, what it is the why, isn't it? Why am I doing this? And how important is it to me?
Yeah, that's why for me it's always really important that the client that sees a hypnotist made the decision himself to go and see the hypnotist. I have, after a session, sometimes people start talking about relatives who have a problem and things like that. And I always say, here's my business card, give it to your relative, and there stops your involvement. Because and even when they wait like 1 year to make an appointment, don't push them, because when they don't make the appointment, they are not ready. And then they're just losing money, and we are losing our time, and we have a session with low or no results, and that's not good for us. So I always I want to have clients who made the decision themselves that they want change and they want to see a hypnotist to reach that goal. So that's really, really important. Yeah, of course. Okay, so thank you very much for this advice. So tell me, how can people reach you? Is there something new in the pipeline? Just tell a bit about what you're doing at the moment, so and where they can find you, where they can reach you.
Okay, so so people can come to my website, sheilagranger.com, email me at think@sheilagranger.com. If people want to know more about, okay, how might they want to help people with weight loss and look a little bit more at those types of eaters, then my book is available on Amazon.
Yep.
And the other side of it is, I'm quite heavily involved in, helping hypnotherapists to, build a business. Because if we build a business and we create longevity in what we're doing, almost like hypnosis on the high street type of thing, then as a profession we will attract more clients. So the more of us that actually run it as a business and create visibility and what we can do to help people, the better. So I've put my experiences into a second book, How to Build a Hypnotherapy Business, which can hopefully, the more we all do, the more we shout about what we can do, with press releases or whatever, we're actually helping the whole profession out, because everybody reads that, and so the more we can educate people the benefits of hypnosis, the better.
Yeah, of course. When I started doing trainings in Belgium, my relatives said to me, "Oh, you're going to create your own competition," but that never happened. I create more hypnotists in Belgium, but people are talking about hypnosis more, and my business growth of that as well, because I started alone. I'm working with 6, even sometimes with 7 therapists, and that's because more people were seeing hypnotherapists, more people having good results, more people are talking about hypnosis or hypnotherapy, and more people considering hypnosis. So it's always good to even have, okay, there is more competition nowadays than there was when I started 10 years ago, but it will help us all to build our business, and especially in this challenging times, it's really important that the hypnotherapist all around the world who has a good business. And I think that's one of the biggest issues in the hypnotherapy world. A lot of people are very good in what they're doing, but they don't know how to build a business, and they are seeing not enough clients to have a good business, to live from that business, and to help as much people as needed. So yeah, it's really important that people like you are sharing those ideas. So yeah, so if you want to grow your business, go and find out Sheila's website, and you will see, and go to, I will put a link to both your books in the show notes, so people can just click and order your book. So that's they have a good read in the holiday period that's coming.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so Sheila, thank you very much for this interview. I hope to see you soon somewhere in the world. I think it's gonna be in a few months maybe, and otherwise it will be next year somewhere at a convention. And now we keeping it online. So thank you very much, and see you soon. Bye.
All right, see you soon, Rob. Bye.